Among one of the largest franchises in television history, while only appearing in a single scene, one character stands out as the smartest, strongest, and greatest of all time. That character is none other than Season 5 Governor. This severely underrated figure, not to be confused with Season 4 Governor, has, for years, been dismissed as nothing more than a hallucination. Ever since Season 5 aired, Season 5 Governor has been brushed aside, overlooked, and even completely forgotten as a character. Then again, the boss killing community wasn't and still isn't very developed. Even today, in recent years, the Walking Dead fans continue to ignore him. But what if I told you that Season 5 Governor is not just an ordinary hallucination, but the strongest character in the entire Walking Dead universe? Stronger than Rick, stronger than Negan, and even stronger than Shane's head by striking. In fact, he exists above any and all three-dimensional beings. But first, let's discuss the history of this mysterious figure that you guys watching don't know. Before the rise of Season 5 Governor, there was another contender for the throne of ultimate power, a character known only by few in the Walking Dead community, known as Season 9 Shane. But similarly to Season 5 Governor, Season 9 Shane was constantly hated on, likely even worse than Season 5 Governor. But his reign was short-lived, because after months of debate, Season 9 Shane was finally and utterly debunked, not by some great scholar or philosopher, but by a monkey named Gale on Discord.com. And after the debunk had been spoken, people were happy, likely because they didn't like Season 9 Shane to begin with. It was only after the fall of Season 9 Shane that the true legend emerged, Season 5 Governor. I was the one who uncovered his existence, digging through the rubble of false claims and forgotten lore. But instead of a celebration, what followed was a year of harassment, mockery, and outright discrimination from many people, all who doubted his supreme powers in the first place. But yes, he had a few loyal supporters. Matthew, the editor, even made 2 videos defending his honor. But aside from a handful of brave believers, Season 5 Governor was left in the shadows, neglected, and ignored by the much wider fandom. And that is precisely why this video exists, not just to defend him, but to finally reveal his true power and to restore his place as the rightful #1 inverse in The Walking Dead.
Before we continue, it has come to my attention that many of you watching this video are not subscribed. If you enjoy this type of content, I would find it indubitably splendorous if you subscribed, but you can always change your mind. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Now, before moving on to his inverse, we must break down the concept of Syllogism. Why? Because it will be the crucial tool in proving his superiority among all the other characters. Syllogism is a form of reasoning in which a conclusion is drawn from 2 or more given premises. For example, P1, if it's raining, then the ground is wet. P2, it's raining. C, therefore the ground is wet. Simple, right? While syllogism can get more complex, this basic idea is all we need to break down the true power of Season 5 Governor and why he's #1 inverse. P1. If Tyrese perceived injuries on the Governor that he actually never witnessed in reality, then the Governor's presence within the hallucination must have been independent of Tyrese's own imagination. P2. Tyrese did in fact perceive injuries on the Governor that he actually never saw in reality. C1. Therefore the Governor was truly present within Tyrese's hallucination. Now this argument would fall under logically valid because it falls under the inference rule of modus ponens. But now we need to figure out if it falls under logically sound. And how we're going to do that is go over the crucial premises and then figure out how it follows from there. To do that, we first need to talk about P1. Now a lot of you guys must be confused what it even means, so I'll explain it simply. In Tyrese's hallucination in Season 5, we see that the Governor in the hallucination has injuries that Tyrese never actually saw in Season 4. For example, the gunshot wound to the head and the katana stab wound in the chest. These injuries were committed on the Governor after Tyrese had left, which he never actually saw happen. Meaning Tyrese should have no knowledge of them being there for him to hallucinate them. Meaning it's likely that the Governor was actually present in Tyrese's hallucination, which is why we should accept that being the case over him just randomly hallucinating it, which has much lower probability. But now some might argue that maybe Tyrese got the knowledge of the injuries off screen. But the problem with that is that we don't actually know. So there's no way for us to determine the likelihood of this review. I mean, it's more justifiable for us to believe and accept the idea that he didn't get any knowledge on it, and the governor was actually there, rather than believe Tyrese did get sufficient knowledge prior, because as opposed to that, we know it's likely the case that the governor was actually there. Now, since I've justified P1 and P2 being logically sound, and explained why the other possibilities are likely false, C1 would have to follow from the premises and be logically sound as well. Now, if the governor was truly there, we have to ask, how did he get there? How much strength would it require to be able to force himself into Tyrese's hallucination? P1. If the governor was truly present in Tyrese's hallucination, then he must possess supernatural powers and a higher form of ontology to enter such a state. P2. To possess such powers means existing beyond the natural laws of the physical universe. P3. Existing beyond the natural laws of the physical universe requires transcendental fourth-dimensional existence. P4. The governor was truly present in Tyrese's hallucination. C2. Therefore, the governor possesses fourth-dimensional existence and powers. Now, this argument would fall under logically valid, as it falls under the inference rule of hypothetical syllogism, but now we need to figure out if it also falls under logically sound. And how we're going to do that is I can go over the crucial premises and explain why it follows from there. But first, we need to talk about P1. Since I've explained why governor being in Tyrese's hallucination is likely true, which means the governor must have supernatural powers to be able to achieve such a feat. As supernatural is defined as something beyond scientific understanding / the laws of nature. Now, why this is relevant is because scientifically, there isn't a way for us to read someone's mind and actually exist there. Meaning this feat from the governor grants him powers and existence that would have to surpass the natural laws of the physical universe, as science covers those laws which Season 5 governor should outscale, granting P1 and P2 as logically sound. Now we need to talk about P3. Since I've explained why Season 5 governor should be above the laws of the physical universe, that means he should also be above the laws which cover gravity, space-time, and laws of physics, which at the bare minimum would grant him fourth-dimensional existence, if not even higher, given he should also be above space-time, which in itself is fourth-dimensional, making P3 logically sound as well, which means that given I've justified all the premises and why they're logically sound, would mean that C2 is also logically sound. Now, given I've justified why Season 5 governor should be fourth-dimensional or even above, I'm gonna be refuting some of his debunks and explaining why they are invalid. The governor died in Season 4. This argument doesn't really matter, because Season 5 governor should exist given what we know, and saying he died in Season 4 doesn't justify him being a hallucination in Season 5, as there could be alternate explanations for Season 5 governor, such as this being governor's transcendented form which he achieved after dying, or just the god of the Walking Dead universe that appeared in governor's form. We've seen other people hallucinate others in The Walking Dead. Why aren't they considered 4D as well? Unlike other hallucinated figures, Season 5 governor has external validation confirming his ontology, setting him apart from simple constructs of the mind, which was the point of my first argument. It was to prove that Season 5 governor was distinct from these other hallucinations. To conclude this video, Season 5 governor is undeniably the #1 universe in The Walking Dead. He is fourth-dimensional and beyond the normal realm of the show and effortlessly superior to all other mortal characters. Meaning any character in the show, Rick, Daryl, Negan, or anyone else for that matter, would be nothing more than a speck to the power of Season 5 governor. If he wanted to, he could easily wipe out the entire verse with just a snap of his fingers, and the verse could do absolutely nothing about it, as Season 5 governor is truly the strongest.